see if this is working. Let me refresh it. Hello. All right. It's working. And it is another Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 123 to be exact. Now, I will say this. Last week, we reviewed and discussed Ring of Honor, Global Wars Mexico. A very fun review, a very fun episode. The reason I'm bringing this up is A, cheap plug. Go watch that review if you have not, please. Thank you. Thing two, and more importantly, is answered a big question I had. I did not know if they were going to count that as a Ring of Honor TV episode, and they have. Because if you go to the TV archive on Honor Club, it has episode 122. It has Bryan Danielson in the thumbnail. Spoiler alert, he made a cameo. And then it just takes you to the Global Wars Mexico. Now, what also is pretty interesting is that if you go to the events archive, not the TV archive, but the events archive for 2025, they have Global Wars Mexico. It's the same thing. I imagine they would realize, we need to do something about this TV. So last week, and this is the question that was answered, was episode 122. I didn't label it as that. I might go back and do that as well. But this week, we're here for Ring of Honor TV review, episode 123. And I'm just a guy that asks a lot of effing questions that it takes forever to get answered or just never gets answered. And I'm going to propose another question here because it is a pretty big one. Will there be an episode of ROH TV next week? I don't know. And the only reason I'm asking that is because genuinely, when we get to Thursdays, that there's an AEW. For the past 3-ish months, AEW schedule has been pretty messed up due to the NHL and NBA playoffs. And then those are now over and done with. And we're still getting this scheduling problem where sometimes Collisions is on Thursday, sometimes they're on Saturday. If they have an excuse and a reason for it, okay. But just to be changing it up for the sake of it screws things up. Now, again, with next week, I understand. Because next Saturday, they can't do a Collision episode because they got the biggest pay-per-view of the year for them all in. So, the question that I asked, will there be an ROH TV episode? I don't know. They didn't say anything about it on this episode. This would be one of the more important TV episodes of the year because it is the last one before Supercard of Honor that Friday. I don't know if and when they're going to try to squeeze an episode of ROH TV in. I don't know. And the main reason, again, I'm saying this is that next week I will have a video uploaded. It will either be a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1, depending on the circumstances here. I will be providing a Supercard of Honor preview, which we have 4 matches as of right now announced, as well as an all-in preview and predictions. If there's an ROH TV episode number 124, that will be done. I'm going to try to get it uploaded next Thursday as early as possible. That way, you have enough time to watch it before Supercard of Honor and All In take place. But like I said, I got more questions than answers. But if you want to know who the hell is going to be in the tag team title match at Supercard of Honor, I can have that answered by the end of this video because the main event was the number 1 contenders match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. So let's go ahead. We're like 3-ish minutes in. 5 minutes. Jeez. 5 minutes in to this video, and I haven't even talked about this episode. I will admit, a lot of my early spiels and intros into the videos are longer than the review itself because, again, this was a shorter episode, so let's get right into it. I also want y'all to notice these 4 people are here for a reason because they're all people that have participated in these Supercard of Honor main events before. So, Opening contest this week was Wheeler Yuta versus Alex Zane. We get an immediate start after the Code of Honor. This slows down once Yuta trips Zane off of the second rope, with lots of Bryan Danielson tendencies from Yuta, mainly the catamulation that Zane turns into a roll-up. Zane's inverted facebuster gets a 2 count, and then Yuta moves out of the way of Zane's top rope maneuver, following up with a Busaiku knee, and picking it up with a victory. Next, the Spanish Announce Project return, which I don't really know what qualifies as a return or not, but they had a graphic and it said return, so I guess that does so. Taking on Ricky Gibson and Eddie Pearl. Now, I'll say, I don't know if their tag team name is the Midnight Heat or if Eddie Pearl's nickname is just the Midnight Heat, because it was labeled on his ass, but they didn't call them the Midnight Heat, so at least one of the two people here are known as or both of them collectively are the Midnight Heat. But Pearl and Angelico start the match off. We get frequent tags. Then Pearl and Gibson land a Russian leg sweep into a backbreaker that Angelico has to break up the pin for. Angelico tags in, applying a trap pin that is immediately broken up, and then the SAP win the matchup after applying tandem submission maneuvers. Now, this is a big thing that happened right here, I guess, depending on who you are. The frat house are at a bar looking for more pledges, and they challenge and are still looking for pledges and are looking to challenge anybody when the Dark Order appear and challenge them to a game of Flip Cup. It's a guy that does not drink alcohol. Don't know the exact circumstances of this game, but I'm pretty sure you drink what's in your cup, and then you have to flip it over when it lands, etc. If the Dark Order win, they have to pay for the frat house's beer or tab. That's what I should have said. But if the frat house win, the Dark Order If the frat house win, the Dark Order has to pick up their tab. If the Dark Order wins, the frat house has to pick up the tab of everybody in the bar, and it shows what is happening. And the Dark Order win, but Jack Jameson said that they cheated and that they are not paying. And the Dark Order is like, okay, that's fine. And then they go to pay the tab and put it under the name of Griff Garrison, where the bartender says, who the fuck is Griff Garrison? It was very weird that Dark Order was just very calm about it, but I guess they had a plan in place. I will speculate. They didn't announce it, but I'm going to speculate that the Dark Order and Frat House have some type of match next week, because this has been building for months and months, and this is going to be a sad but true statement to say. It's kind of been the only storyline going on in ROH. The only other, and I'm saying this in quotations, consistent thing going on in ROH is the Women's Pure Tournament, which I am going to be the asshole and say I do not really care about this, because they have been talking about it for months and have not even started it. And they just keep pushing it off. I don't know if and when it's ever going to start. It just feels like it's there. And I'm mainly saying this because our next matchup is a pure rules match between Serena Deeb and Becca. Spoiler alert, this is one-sided domination by Serena Deeb. Becca uses her first rope break after a wrist lock, and then Deeb applies a surfboard, transitioning it into a pin and then armbar that Becca has to use her second rope break on. Then hits a hammerlock lariat that gets a 2 count, and then a hammerlock facebuster into a half crab, and Serena Deeb. That's how she won this one-sided beatdown. I don't know. I feel like an asshole for saying I don't care about this Women's Pure Tournament. When it happens, maybe it should be good, but it's just like I don't know the point in mentioning it and then just never doing it and just delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. It makes it worse. Main event time. Like I said, quick episode of ROH. Number 1 contenders, who will face Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes for the Tag Team Championships at Supercard of Honor? Will it be the Infantry or Top Flight? Dean and Darius start the match off, but we get frequent tags by Top Flight early until Shane Taylor causes a distraction on the outside, leading to the Infantry's advantage. Darius is able to land a double DDT, leading to Dante tagging in and landing Dobbs in and out of the ring. Bravo hits Dean accidentally, but nothing's able to come of this as Trish Adora is distracting the referee on the ring apron, and then Layla Gray and her start to brawl on the outside and up the ramp. Darius is pushed into Lee Moriarty's pure title after a roll-up attempt and ends up knocking him out, I guess I could say, because he does not kick out of the pinfall that the Infantry apply. And the Infantry win this match and will challenge for the tag team titles at Supercard of Honor. And I will be the one. I said it last week that I was rooting for the Infantry to win this match if I had to choose. And I guess I will say it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because obviously, All In and Supercard of Honor are in Texas. I don't know how heavily they're going to lean into the Texas side of things. The women's title match kind of already has that because Athena and Thunder Rosa are from Texas. The Sons of Texas have a match now. But the point I'm trying to make is I wouldn't mind the Infantry winning the tag team titles. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara have almost had these ROH tag team titles for a complete year, which in all actuality is insane. It just really is. But it kind of also, like, they don't appear that much. They didn't appear this week. They didn't appear last week. I'm nagging a little bit, but I'm ready for a change. And the Infantry and Shane Taylor Promotions as a whole regularly appear. And I definitely think the Infantry deserve a shot with his tag team titles, and I'm mainly for it again because I'm tired of the Sons of Texas being the tag champions. Also, this is another question that it should be answered next week, obviously, but will the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes defend the ROH six-man tag titles on the show? Because again, how much are they going to lean into this Texas stuff? And the Von Erichs are Texas, and they won the six-man tag titles in the same building. Dustin and Sammy actually won their tag titles in the same building as well, the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So we got a lot of questions, not a whole lot of time to answer them because this time next week, Supercard of Honor, it'll be Supercard of Honor Day. So I'm just trying to delay this as I have more and more questions that come to mind. If I have more, I'll probably comment them down below, but I don't want to hold y'all on for too much longer. So I do appreciate y'all all for watching this. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. If y'all want to know who wins this match, I'll also comment that as well. I'm out for now. Goodbye.